for another co-leader if that is what the membership decides. And it is arguably the biggest match in the history of Canadian men's soccer. Tonight in New Jersey, Canada plays Argentina, with the winner advancing to the final of the Copa America. Argentina is heavily favored, of course, and with good reason. Here is Canadian coach Jesse Marsh.
Weaknesses? None. With all the respect we have for Argentina and Messi, we expect them to have their best match of the tournament.
Kickoff tonight is 7 o'clock Manitoba time, with a sellout crowd of 82,000 expected, the majority of which will be Argentina supporters. That is CBC News from Winnipeg. Your next local news is at 12:30. For news anytime, you can always head to cbc.ca/Manitoba or download the free CBC News app.
Hello, my friends. Thanks for joining us today for Radio Noon here on CBC Radio 1. I'm Janet Stewart. Today on the program, we are talking about summer festivals. What's your favorite memory from a summer festival? A musician you heard play, or a friend you met, or maybe that time your tent blew away or almost blew away. We want to hear your stories today, your favorite festival experience. Call me and share those fun summer vibes after the 12:30 news and weather. The Celebrating Women Gala is back tonight for its 15th year. We're going to hear from 3 women being honored this evening because of the positive impact they've had on their communities. But Radio Noon begins today with 7 people arrested in connection with sexual exploitation and the trafficking of girls. As you've been hearing in the news, RCMP have just announced they've arrested 7 people in connection with the sexual exploitation and trafficking of 2 15-year-old girls in Portage-la Prairie. Here's Inspector Sean Pike of RCMP Major Crime Services speaking 45 minutes ago.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you for all coming today. The Manitoba RCMP's Internet Child Exploitation Unit does some of the hardest work you can imagine. These officers investigate crimes related to sexual exploitation of children via the internet and otherwise. This includes the possession, accessing, distribution, importation, and production of child pornography, as well as dealing with physical sexual offenses. Between February the 2nd, 2024 and June the 4th, 2024, these dedicated RCMP investigators executed 10 search warrants and arrested 7 people in Portage-la Prairie, Manitoba in relation to child exploitation offenses. Between these 7 individuals, there are currently 65 charges, and the investigation is still ongoing. On February the 2nd, 2024, the RCMP in Portage-la Prairie were notified of a young girl seen around the city with older men. Officers were able to locate this female youth, as well as an additional female youth who had been exploited in a human trafficking operation in Portage. The girls were both 15 years old at the time of the offenses. For obvious reasons, we will not be providing any information that could possibly identify these girls. Once able to speak with the youths, the officers continued investigating and discovered that an adult female had befriended the girls and offered them to hang out with some of her friends to get drugs and money. These girls trusted in this adult female and attended to residences with her between June of 2023 and December of 2023. When the youth arrived with the adult female, there would be an adult male present who would provide drugs in exchange for sexual acts. On many occasions, the youth were locked in the location by the adult female, who remained throughout the entire interaction. These youths were not able to escape. The youths were coerced into performing sexual acts to receive drugs and sometimes currency from the adult male. Additionally, the adult female would also receive payment in the form of drugs, including methamphetamine and cocaine. The exploitation included the adult males sending nude photos to the two youth and requiring photos of the two youth in return. Telecommunications between several of the males and the adult female took place via Snapchat or Facebook Messenger to groom or procure services from the exploited youths. When the search warrants were executed by the RCMP, officers seized computers and computer-related devices, including phones and external hard drives, as evidence in this investigation. Our digital forensic experts to this day continue to forensically examine these devices. During the execution of these warrants, officers also recovered drugs and 13 firearms. The firearms included rifles and shotguns. All the accused are known to each other and face a variety of charges from human trafficking and child luring to firearm and drug-related offenses. A full list of these charges will be available on our website following the press conference. This was a fairly organized operation where the suspects used multiple platforms with the deliberate intent to exploit youths. Our investigators believe there are more survivors. Information has led our officers to know that a currently unidentified 13 or 14-year-old female was also exploited by this group. We ask anybody who knows anything about this operation or is a survivor of it to please call the ICE tip line at 204-984-3129. It's 204-984-3129 to get in touch with our investigators. Why we were able to disrupt this operation and support the two known survivors? The tragic reality is there is more of this. If you think it's not happening in your community, you are wrong. Youth of all ages, backgrounds, and life circumstances can be exploited and taken advantage of through the actions of adults. This is human trafficking. The two survivors were trafficked by an adult female in exchange for mostly methamphetamine and cocaine. These kids are getting hurt. Collectively, we all need to do our part to protect them. If you see something, say something. Some of the indicators that someone are being trafficked, or they may not be able to explain circumstances or surroundings. They may not be allowed to speak on their own behalf. They may show signs of being controlled, intimidated, or afraid. They may show signs of abuse, such as bruises. They often go to places that are open 24 hours and have free Wi-Fi so they can connect with the trafficker. Unexpected behavior, such as a young person traveling alone at unusual times. People who don't have identification or money. And people who show fear of law enforcement, they've been told that they are the ones that are going to get in trouble. These arrests and charges I'm announcing here today are crucial. These two survivors can now get support and hopefully begin to heal. The dedicated officers in our detachments, our specialized units, and our ICE team do this work to help people, and today they can be very proud of their efforts that stopped two young girls from being further exploited. The entire RCMP are proud of their efforts. We will continue to enforce against those who exploit our children, and we ask anyone with any information on this investigation or any other incident to call us. Thank you.
That was Inspector Sean Pike of RCMP Major Crime Services announcing 7 people have been arrested following an investigation by the Internet Child Exploitation Unit. Together, the suspects face 65 charges related to child exploitation and human trafficking. Police believe there are more victims and survivors. They'd like anyone with information on this to call 204-984-3129.
Whether it's breaking news from around the world, across the country, or in your own hometown, it's all at your fingertips on the CBC News app. Get the top stories from where you live under the local tab, or watch video clips, live events, and the national on your smartphone or tablet. Get all the news you want, when you want it, where you want it, with the CBC News app. Download the app for free today.
It is 12:15. You're listening to Radio Noon here on CBC Radio 1, 89.3 FM, 990 AM, and everywhere on the CBC Listen app and the CBC News app as well. I'm Janet Stewart. The Council of Women of Winnipeg has been around for 130 years, the Provincial Council of Women for 75. Now these two Manitoba organizations that both have strong histories are honoring women who are moving our province toward an even stronger future. We're going to hear more about that at 12:15 today. Then the Executive Director of Winnipeg Folk Festival joins me after the 12:30 news and weather to talk about the magic of summer festivals. What's your favorite memory from Folk Fest or from any other summer festival you've attended? We want to hear your stories. Call our conversation and join us in the second half hour of our show today. Right now, let's take a quick look at the weather. It's really, really hot out there already today. All over the province, we're looking at temperatures in the mid-20s, practically all over it. Genpeg, only at 17 degrees today. Churchill at 17. Those are the low spots at the moment. High spot is Fisher Branch, already sitting at 27 degrees, just at noon. It's a hot and humid day out there. That means there is a risk of a thunderstorm late this afternoon in places including the Red River Valley. Our weather specialist Riley Lachuk will join us after the 12:30 news to look at your forecast in more detail for the entire province. The Council of Women of Winnipeg and the Provincial Council of Women of Manitoba joined forces tonight to honor women in the province who have made positive change in their communities. Together, they host their 15th annual Celebrating Women Gala. 8 Manitoba women will be honored for their work toward the welfare of women, families, and society. Betty Adele is one of them. She's had a distinguished career in health and social services, founding projects such as the North End Housing Project and the North End Community Renewal Corporation. She told Weekend Morning Show host Nadia Kidwai that her work was inspired by her own lived experience.
My main motivation is social justice. I grew up in the child welfare system and experienced houselessness. And I just think as a Red River Métis citizen, I just see injustices in how society is set up. So I just want people to have the same opportunities that I've had in my life. Mm-hmm. So it's to play it forward and make sure we live in a safe society where everyone has an opportunity. Young people are getting more interested in what's going on, so I'm grateful for that. I get phone calls from the university of people wanting to do their practicum with me. Mm-hmm. So I'm grateful that people are interested in social justice. And I think people are working really collaboratively together. Mm-hmm. They all realize that we all have a piece of this, so we need to come together and ante up our piece and work collaboratively and cooperatively for the people that we're all here to serve.
Social justice advocate Betty Adele. Titi Tijani will also be honored tonight. After decades of advocacy, she remains committed to helping newcomers settle in Manitoba.
Supporting newcomers is very, very important. I myself, I migrated here about 37 years ago, and I know what my experiences were. Not all fun. And so, particularly those bad experiences, I wanted to make sure that those who are coming after me do not experience the same, do not go through negative experiences. And when you're moving to a new country, there are many things that you need to be able to integrate well, to settle well. You've already made the decision to come. And so while you're here, you might as well make the best of it. And so I wanted to help people to let them know how things are and to equip them with the tools and resources that they need so that they can succeed in their journey of settlement here.
That is Celebrating Women Gala honoree Titi Tijani. Mary Scott will be honored tonight with the first Lifetime Achievement Award the Council of Women of Winnipeg and the Provincial Council of Women of Manitoba have ever presented. After decades of advocating for social justice and gender equality, Mary Scott says there's still much work to do. She tells CBC one of the biggest changes she's seen over the years is a disturbing one.
I think it's the violence, the violence towards women, the violence that is towards others, the idea of peaceful resolution of our differences or disputes or differences. I think, when you're dealing with physical violence and the threat of physical violence, it really shuts down a person. And I think that's a challenge to lift change that, recognizing that there are reasons for that anger and how to deal with that, but also for the person who is intimidated and fearful. Mm-hmm. So I think there are challenges, social and individual and community challenges for sure. And I think lowering the temperature, looking at basic needs, the housing needs, the food needs, that's really important. And supporting those services that can provide those.
Mary Scott, one of the people being honored tonight. She's receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award. Titi Chitani and Betty Adele are also among three. They're also among nearly a dozen Manitoba women and organizations being honored tonight by the Provincial Council of Women of Manitoba and the Council of Women of Winnipeg. I was privileged to MC their first Celebrating Women event back in 2007, and I will MC tonight's gala as well. It begins at 8 I believe it starts at 7, actually. I'm going to be there for 7 at the Viscount Gort Hotel in Winnipeg. After the 12:30 news and weather, we're going to be joined by the executive director of the Winnipeg Folk Festival. She's going to talk to us about what's happening this year, but really what I want to do is dig into the past and into what's so special about summer festivals. What's your favorite memory from Folk Fest or from any other summer festival you've attended? We want to hear stories after the 12:30 news and weather. One of the stories people may be telling after this weekend is about Wyatt C. Lewis, one of the fantastic musicians performing at this year's Winnipeg Folk Festival. Wyatt is a Plains Cree singer-songwriter playing this weekend. They wrote this next song about spending summers volunteering with friends at a festival. From their debut album, Chandler, this is Wyatt C. Lewis with Oh, Vibrant Sky.
In the big, big crowd, you and me at a festival, feeling every bit inside, and I'm weak in the knees from standing too long. And in the hot, hot summer, there's a fire on stage. Oh, how these wandering eyes catch you, smiling so big, just can't believe it, with their backs against vibrant sky. You will see me in a new light. Got a day off in the city, let's go chat up an old friend. Everything's different about it for reasons unknown to man. Moon toss from the ridge line, scary like A24. You could never make them disappear. There's parts of me you couldn't bring to heal. with their backs against a vibrant sky. You will see me in a new light. With our backs against a vibrant sky. Only then you will see me in a new light. In the heart,
In the hot, hot summer. That was Wyatt C. Lewis with Oh Vibrant Sky. He will be playing this Saturday, as in this Saturday, at Winnipeg Folk Festival. Now, playing today is Canada's men's soccer team. They made it to the semi-finals of Copa America. That's huge because this was their first trip ever in the Copa America. So they've not only made it to the semi-finals, like on their first trip to the championship, but now they have to play Copa America and FIFA World Cup champions Argentina and Lionel Messi. I mean, wow. Sports journalist and podcaster James Sharman spoke with Front Burner host Jamie Poisson about what this moment means.
Copa America is, among the second best tournaments in world football. So you have the World Cup, which stands alone, of course. And then you have the Confederations tournaments. You have the Euros, also enjoying right now. That's Europe, of course, European Championship. And then Copa America, which is South America, obviously a hotbed of football, where the sport is more than just a sport, it's a religion. It's a massive tournament with incredible history. It's storied, it's fabled. It's a really special tournament and very difficult to win. So for Canada to get to the semifinals, a team, let's be honest, it's been through the mire for decades now, quite honestly. A sport that's fighting for its place in Canada. This is a monumental occasion. The result is, honestly, it's not even that important. Obviously, winning would be special, but this is a team they're playing who's the best team in the world. They likely won't win this game, but to get this far is really special, not just in soccer in this country, but as sport as a whole in this country.
Sports journalist James Sharman on Front Burner speaking with host Jamie Poisson. Wow, wouldn't it be incredible if Team Canada scored against Argentina? That would be amazing. Listen to the full conversation on Front Burner wherever you get your podcasts.
Poor Terry O'Reilly. He's come down with another bad case of brand envy. He's green over the record company jokesters who reissue old hits.
Hello, mother. Hello, father.
He's admiring those much-loved school notebooks that aren't digital, but paper.
Huh?
And then there's Terry's favorite animator, Brand Envy, on Under the Influence. Thursday morning at 11:30, 3:30 p.m. in Newfoundland, and on the CBC Listen app.
School is out. Time to sleep in, ride your bike. Summer camp. Remember that feeling? Fort White Alive wants to bring it back with The Great Escape, a one-night adult summer camp. Hike the trails, hop in a canoe, and play all kinds of games at CBC's tent. Plus, a dance party hosted by DJ K. Chetta and your choice of adult bevy. The Great Escape, July 25th at Fort White Alive. Proudly sponsored by CBC.
It is almost 12:30, time to open the phone lines and hear from you about your favorite memory from a summer festival. The number to call is 204-780-0893. We've got the executive director of the Winnipeg Folk Festival joining us. She's new to the festival, but not really. She first attended in 1974. So we're going to ask Valerie Chance to share some memories as well. What are yours? Not just a folk fest, but of any festival you've attended. 204-780-0893. If you want to text, it's 204-588-7355. Now, it's time for the news.
This is CBC News. Good afternoon. I'm Josh Crabb in Winnipeg at 12:30. It's 27 and mostly cloudy, sunny and 24 in Dauphin, mainly sunny and 24 in Flin Flon. The RCMP's Internet Child Exploitation Unit has arrested 7 people in Portage La Prairie after 2 15-year-old girls were lured and trafficked for drugs and money. Inspector Sean Pike says a report came into police in February that a 15-year-old girl was seen around the city with older men. When they found her, they also found another 15-year-old girl who had been exploited. Pike says the 2 were lured by a woman who promised them drugs and money if they would go to a house in Portage and perform sex acts for men there. And on many occasions, the girls were locked in the location by the woman. Pike says there were also nude photos sent over Snapchat and Facebook Messenger.
This was a fairly organized operation where the suspects used multiple platforms with the deliberate intent to exploit youths. Our investigators believe there are more survivors. Information has led our officers to know that a currently unidentified 13 or 14-year-old female was also exploited by this group.
Police searched a number of locations where they found drugs, computers, and weapons. 6 men from Portage La Prairie and 1 from Long Plain First Nation face 65 charges. Pike says anyone with information about other possible victims should contact RCMP. The province revealed an emergency strategy to make Winnipeg's downtown safer for the summer. The $1.6 million plan includes a new sobering centre at Nadinawaymak on Disraeli. Premier Wab Kinew says police, fire, and ambulance staff will have a place to take people experiencing a drug crisis.
We want to get them healthcare services. We want to get them on a pathway towards a positive lifestyle. But the desire to respond with compassion and healthcare cannot be an excuse for inaction in the face of issues that we see that are causing other Manitobans to be threatened or to feel unsafe.
Kinew says the sobering centre will bridge the gap until longer-term education, recreation, and mental health programs are established. The Downtown Community Safety Partnership program is also doubling its daytime patrols for the summer. Manitoba Hydro has a new CEO. Alan Danroth has been chosen to run the Provincial Crown Corporation. Hydro faces challenges. It must rebuild aging infrastructure, build up generating capacity, and handle a heavy debt load. Danroth is a power engineer who's worked at energy, health, and forestry companies. He takes the helm of Hydro August 6th. He replaces former CEO Jay Graywall, who was dismissed this winter. Interim CEO Hal Turner will remain in his position until Danroth comes aboard. And Environment Canada has been investigating the rise in extreme heat events, and they're sharing their findings, including what caused last month's heat wave across parts of Ontario, Quebec, and Atlantic Canada. The analysis is a pilot for a new system meant to examine whether extreme weather events are indeed triggered by climate change. That is CBC News from Winnipeg. Your next local news is at 1:30.
Thanks, Josh Crabb.
You're welcome.
Josh Crabb joining us here in the studio, covering news for us today. We're also joined by Riley Lachuk. Hi, Riley.
Full studio.
Oh, yes, it is a full studio, isn't it? And on a day when it's just so summery out there, so hot and humid.
Hot and humid, and it's only going to get hotter and humider. That's not a word, but I like to think it is. It is now. As we get through the work week, Janet. Looking at some of the temperatures, I thought we'd start sort of big picture here across Western Canada. Edmonton right now at 29 degrees. Saskatoon's at 27, 26 in Regina. Kelowna, 28 at the moment. And Winnipeg is at 27 degrees. Really across southern Manitoba, looking at temperatures, really between about 25 and 27. Northwestern Ontario at 26 throughout the region at the moment. And a bit cooler in the north at the moment. We have seen a few showers as expected and a few rumbles of thunder moving through sort of northeastern Manitoba, north central Manitoba, kind of in a line between, say, Barons River, Little Grand Rapids, spreading into northwestern Ontario, areas around Pekanjicum, Red Lake, seeing a few sort of stray showers with a few sort of rumbles of thunder as we get through the noon hour here. Otherwise, we're looking at mainly sunny skies for the rest of the day today once that cloud kind of moves out of northern Manitoba. Behind that, a little bit more instability maybe yet to come. Chance we could see a few rumbles of thunder for the most part of the non-severe variety across southern Manitoba through the late afternoon, but some of these could cross that severe thunderstorm threshold, especially as we get through into the early evening hours tonight. other than that, I don't have a lot to talk about weather-wise aside from the heat and the humidity. Wednesday into Thursday, mainly sunny skies. Friday, mainly sunny skies as well, and that's what we get really right into the weekend. This, of course, is because of that area of high pressure that's kind of stalled out over northern California, northern Nevada, creating sort of that heat dome effect with that high pressure ridge that has kind of built in the west. That high pressure system kind of budges a little bit to the east as we get through the rest of the work week, and that's going to allow some of that really hot and humid Pacific Southwest air to flow into southern Saskatchewan and southern Manitoba, particularly Thursday onwards. So the worst is sort of yet to come yet for us here in Manitoba as we get through later Friday into Saturday. Temperatures, even in North Dakota, looking like we could sort of break 35 degrees in parts of North Dakota, Montana, and South Dakota. So not quite that warm here, but it certainly will feel warmer than that with the humidity, which is what I want to talk about. The dew point temperatures, that's a big factor in sort of our summer weather here in southern Manitoba. It's that dew point, that moisture in the air that really makes it feel a lot stickier and a lot warmer than it actually is. So with those dew point readings up into that 20-22 range as we get through Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that will make sort of the temperature feel closer to 40 outside, but also give it that sort of tropical and really sticky feeling out there, Janet. So we'll keep an eye on those readings as we get through the week. 29 in Winnipeg this afternoon, 27 in Gimli and Brandon and Dauphin, and 24 under a mostly sunny sky in Thompson once some of that cloud and those sort of few showers in northern Manitoba clear out this afternoon. I've got us at 30 degrees for Wednesday, 31 for Thursday, 32 for Friday, Saturday, feeling close to or hotter than 40 through Friday, Saturday, and 30 degrees with the risk of thunderstorms on Sunday.
Wow.
Yeah, we're entering a prolonged stretch of summer weather, Janet.
This is the time when folks, you check on anyone you know who lives in your neighborhood and doesn't have air conditioning,
Yes.
senior citizens, particularly anybody who might be vulnerable.
Mhm.
Extra water for charities that you know and love who help people who are
Exactly.
without shelter. And Riley, thank you so much.
I'll tell you now, Friday, Saturday is going to feel probably, if we're not used to this heat yet this summer, it's probably going to feel a little unbearable for some.
Okay.
So
Thanks for the warning.
We'll keep you posted.
I'm sure the city will open cooling stations and stuff like that. We'll tell you all about that in the news as we get the information. Riley Lachuk tracking it all for us. He'll be back during Up to Speed today between 3 and 6 p.m. And then he'll be on the television newscast, which is now also on YouTube. It's the YouTube newscast. Hello, everyone watching on CBC Manitoba's YouTube page. Remember, you can send comments, and you can also pick up the phone and call us or text us to join this conversation. This particular very, very hot, sticky, bring extra sunscreen, bring extra water bottles that you can refill weekend is Folk Festival weekend. So we wanted to say, what is your favorite memory from a summer festival? We have so many fabulous festivals in Manitoba. Was it someone you met at that festival that just an extraordinary person that you might not have crossed paths with at another time? What pops into your head when you think of the summer festivals you've attended? The number to call, 204-780-0893. You can text us too, 204-588-7355. We've got a couple of people waiting to talk already. I'm excited about that. But first, I want to thank our special guest for being here. Valerie Shantz is with me today, the executive director of the Winnipeg Folk Festival. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
You're new in the role of executive director, but you're not new to the Winnipeg Folk Festival, are you?
I'm not. I apparently, although I don't remember, went to the very first folk festival, and I have been attending many years since. So yes, I am a new executive director in that I joined the organization as staff in January.
Well, congratulations, and we're thrilled you're here. Let's get on the phone. Let's talk first to Sean. Hey, thanks for calling Radio Noon. It's Janet Stewart. How you doing?
Great. That's great. I'm busy packing and getting organized to head out to Birds Hill Park this afternoon.
Wow.
And
You have lots
I'm
of sunscreen, right? And a big hat?
Big hat, lots of sunscreen, big water bottle, good to go. A little bit nervous about the weather. But over the years, of course, there's been lots of hot and lots of rainy festivals.
Do you remember a rainy festival?
Well, actually, that's my story today because I can't remember if it was 98 or 99. I was there with my children. We were staying in the festival noisy campground, the party campground. And during the afternoon, a gaggle of kids, they were all like 8, 9 years old, found a hill that was quite muddy with a mucky pond at the bottom of it. And they had the best time just running up and down, sliding, belly sliding. And eventually they showed up back at the trailers. And the parents opened our doors and looked at these kids and went, oh my goodness, what are we supposed to do with you? We can't even tell who's who. We really could not identify our children. They were laughing and laughing. We were laughing. And we said, okay, go find one of those showers out in the field. And when we can identify you, maybe we'll let you back into the trailer. So that was the beginning of family tradition. We've been out there ever since. Our kids are well into their 30s now, and we're still all out there having a great time. And it's, I would say, our favorite week of the year. It's just so good to be out there with so many happy, caring, kind folk and listening to so much great music.
Valerie, I'm so glad you called us. Valerie is our guest. Sean, I'm so glad you called us. You made Valerie laugh and me. Just a good, fun, messy play kind of place, huh?
Yeah, it is for everybody. It's just a great time, good place to relax and to regenerate and fill your heart with all the things that are good in the world, which I think is so important these days while we're surrounded with so much fear for so many things. So it's just wonderful to take a bit of a break and reconnect with humanity. So.
Sean, thanks for calling us. Have a fabulous festival.
Thank you.
Valerie, what have you seen in your years at the festival in terms of messy kids having fun?
Well, Sean's story is reminding me of having a 3-year-old at the festival, and days before the event, they had broken a bone in their foot. And so she had a walking cast on and was, and we were worried about keeping up with her at the festival. Well, the walking cast equalized things a little bit so that she still got to enjoy that kids zone there and the children's tent, Chickadee. And Sean's story really reminded me of what it's like to have. We have so many children who come to the festival, which we love, and we love the multi-generations, folks who have been coming with their grandparents. It's just a great part of the event. 204-780-0893 or send us a text 588-7355. What are your memories from any festival that's near and dear to your heart in this great province of ours? Wayne, thank you for calling Radio Noon.
Hi there.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Looking forward to Thursday and the whole weekend.
You're heading out to Folk Festival at Birds Hill Park as well?
My favorite weekend of the year.
Why is it your favorite?
Oh, so many reasons. I mean, my wife and I went to the very first one back in 1974. I don't remember seeing Val there at that time. And I've been going pretty regularly over the last 50 or so years, and just so much. You mentioned bumping into people I wouldn't normally have met. I remember bumping into Richard Thompson at the 1983 festival and talking to him and telling him I'm one of his Winnipeg fans, and telling me that that's good, we need more like you, and then seeing him again in 1992. But the one I'm phoning in about was last year. Last year's festival was by far the best for me ever.
Why?
There were so many great workshops, and workshops where the performers actually collaborated with each other.
So much magic happens there, hey? When people get together who perhaps haven't met before, haven't played before, and stuff happens.
Yeah, and it just seemed like last year that really all the workshops I went to, the performers seemed to take that to heart, where they were trying to learn something from each other, trying to play together, and that was great to see. But the reason I'm calling is because last year was also the first time I actually got to sing at the Folk Festival.
Ooh.
I do shape note singing with Matthew Knight, who kind of leads a group of singers, and he wanted to do, I guess you'd call it a flash mob of shape note singers. And so a few of us gathered in front of the Green Ash stage at the end of the afternoon performances and stood and sang 3 or 4 shape note hymns while people all around us were buzzing with their phones and trying to capture this strange thing happening before their eyes. But it was such a fun thing to be part of that I really, that's something I'll never forget.
Oh, that's amazing. Wayne, I have to admit, I don't know what shake note singing is. Can you explain it to me?
It's shape note. It's a type of harmony singing that was developed for church congregations a couple of hundred years ago so they could sing in harmony. So the notation is done in using shapes rather than just standard musical notation.
So really good if somebody, for example, doesn't read the language.
If someone doesn't read music, the shapes make the music easier to follow.
Well, do you think you're looking for the opportunity to get up and sing again? Do you think it might happen? Would you do it?
Well, I would do it. Yes, absolutely.
Wayne, thanks so much for calling.
Thank you.
I should have asked Wayne this question before I let him go. Wayne, you're gone, aren't you? Yeah,
No.
he's gone. Oh, you're not. So I have met people who've never been to the Winnipeg Folk Festival. They think it's a bunch of dirty hippies and they don't want to go. What would you say to them?
I would say it is great for everybody from every age. I'm 77 now. I started going when I was 20. I don't consider myself a hippie. I would say, go, you're going to see something that you've never seen before, and you're going to love it.
Have a great time. Don't forget your sunscreen. Thanks, Wayne, for calling Radio Noon. Now, there are so many great festivals around our province. We've been talking, of course, about the Folk Festival because we've got the executive director here with us. But I want to hear about the festivals you love that maybe no one's heard of or not that many people. Which ones do you love? Which one would you like to plug? Give us a call, Manitoba. If you need a toll-free number, 1-800-268-5483. Again, 1-800-268-5483. There are smaller festivals around this province that are magical. We have people, I'm sure, listening who remember 1974 or some of the early folk festivals when things were smaller. And they like that intimacy, the smallerness of it. What is happening? I'd be remiss, Valerie Shantz, not to say what is happening at this year's folk festival that you're most excited about.
Well, it's our 49th festival. And so we have a great lineup. Chris Fryer, our artistic director, has just assembled that combination of new and some favorites that people already know. So, I'm really excited about the music. But we are also doing something that actually kind of ties in with today's show, which is we have a storytelling tent. And we are encouraging people to come and tell us their favorite folk festival story. And we're going to have a little film crew there who can shoot that. And we'll be using that as part of our celebration of our 50th next year. So that's, a little bit of an unusual thing for us, but because I love sitting and listening to people talk about their favorite things about the folk festival. And when I started in this position, people would stop me on the street and just want to tell me their favorite memories of the folk festival. It does just seem to be an event that people have really warm feelings for.
Well, and magical things do happen when you sit out in the evening and watch the different dragonflies going around. I can think of some memories, some beautiful things that happened. But how about you, folks who are listening? 204-780-0893. We want to hear your stories from summer festivals. Do you have one, Valerie, besides your child being really resilient and wandering around in a cast? What's your favorite festival?
Having a great time, I might add.
Yeah.
I have so many. One of them is discovering acts that I didn't know. Head in the Heart, I discovered them at the festival. Last year, there was a festival, as Wayne, your earlier caller, referred to. There was a particular workshop where bands that should not work together. There's no, I remember reading the workshop description and thinking, how are they going to make these acts sound anything together. And it was amazing. By the end of the workshop, everyone was on their feet, which also reminds me of Katie Lang coming one year. And, that one of those big main stage shows, people have been out in the sun for a while. They're a bit tired, but she got everyone on their feet. They were so excited to be there and singing along with her. And, those big communal events and celebrations, I think we just really cherish them. I actually think we cherish them even more post-pandemic. That opportunity to experience joy and discovery with other people, it's just such a great opportunity.
We are, as we just heard with Riley's forecast, in for a really, really hot and humid weekend. Is Festival doing, Folk Festival, I should say, so I don't slip into Festival du Voyageur.
Right.
Doing anything to do you have additional water stations or anything to help with that?
So we have been working on adding shade to the site over the last number of years. So people will have been seeing additional shade tents for this reason. We know climate change is real, it's happening, and so we've been needing to prepare for these warmer summers over time. We have been adding additional water on site. It's really important to us that water is free and accessible. So anyone coming to the festival, bring your water bottle and you'll be able to refill it over and over and over again through the day.
They don't sell water, so don't go thinking you can buy it.
That's
can't.
Right. You're just going to have to accept it for free. The main issue is you need something to receive it in, which we might, you can probably also purchase at the festival. But so things like that. And also we're going to be putting out a lot of reminders to folks to remind them how to take care of themselves during the festival. Our safety volunteers and our first aid volunteers are going to be keeping an eye out for folks. And those are the main things. We are definitely watching the weather closely.
Yeah. And if you're going, pack extra sunscreen and share with a friend. Make a new friend who's wandering around and looks like they haven't put sunscreen on for a while. Might not hurt.
That's right. And a hat. I mean, it sounds so basic, but it makes such a big difference. A big hat. I really recommend it.
We've also had a lot of rain, which means mosquitoes could be an issue.
Yeah, I've been out at the site quite a bit this week, and they aren't during the day. I think they have been a little bit more in the evening, so it's true. People need to be prepared for that. I'm actually surprised how dry the site is. I had expected it to be quite damp, given all the rain that we've had, but we've been doing so much work over the years on drainage in the site so that there's not those sort of pooling areas where mosquitoes breed. But yes, I'm not going to pretend there's not going to be bugs out there. I expect, particularly around sunset, the usual times, they will turn up and make themselves known.
Now, I've been out there on really terrible mosquito years as well and seen a lot of dragonflies. And I remember an urban legend that the folk festival brought in dragonflies. And I thought, how lovely. But that is an urban legend, isn't
I'm afraid it is, although I love the idea that we would see dragonflies out there. No, nature takes care of itself. The bugs turn up and the dragonflies swoop in to take care of things.
I remember being out there. One of my favorite memories is watching the Northern Lights behind Bob Geldof.
Oh, wow.
And everyone yelling, "There's Northern Lights." But of course, he's looking at the stage lights. He can't see them anywhere. But magical things happen when you listen to live music out in a field. We've only got a couple of minutes left, Manitoba, but text us, call us. Is there a story you'd like to share that you haven't yet? 204-780-0893. To text, it's 204-588-7355. What have you not said about Folk Fest that you would like to?
I think, I was just thinking of another favorite memory of mine going to Folk Festival, which is sort of, I've been an attendee for many years. And at night, there's some of us ride our bikes back to the quiet campground. And that experience of riding through the park, listening to music off in the distance and the drumming. And it's just such a friendly space out there. I mean, people really take care of each other at the fest. And it's one of the things that I really love about it is everyone's kind of watching out for each other and making sure they're safe and having a good time. And we know that'll be the case this weekend,
Is
too.
there still a shuttle that goes to downtown Winnipeg?
The Winnipeg Transit still does a shuttle, which is excellent, so people don't have to drive if they don't wish to. We certainly encourage those who are driving to carpool if they can. And a lot of people do stay at the site, if they're camping in a festival campground as your mom referred to earlier, or quiet campground for those of us that like to sleep a little more steadily through the night. But yes, we we also have Winnipeg Transit. You can catch it by the bay, and the schedule's up online, and they're just a fabulous partner for us in terms of making sure people have a way to get out there safely and home as well.
And home, sometimes I think they also avoid some of the traffic, don't they? If you're on that shuttle bus, you don't have to sit. So remember that. We did get one more call. Did we, Wendy? No? Well, I want to thank everyone who did phone in with their memories of Winnipeg Folk Fest and any other festival that they love. Lucinda Williams, I know, has played. She's performed there at Winnipeg Folk Festival.
And she's back this year.
And she's back this year. Well, what a great way to end our conversation. Valerie, thank you so much for coming in today, and have a great Folk Fest.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Valerie Shantz is the executive director of the Winnipeg Folk Festival. And now, here's Lucinda Williams.
All alone and cry while it's over. I know it, but I can't let go. I'm like a fish out of water, a cat in a tree. You don't even wanna talk to me. Well, it's over. I know it, but I can't let go. He won't take me back when I come around. Says he's sorry, then he puts me out. I got a big chain around my neck and I'm broken down like a train wreck. Well, it's over. I know it, but I can't let go. See, I got a candle that burns so bright in my window every night. Well, it's over. I know it, but I can't let go. You don't like to see me standing around. Feel like I've been shot and fall down. Well, it's over. I know it, but I can't let go. He won't take me back when I come around. Says he's sorry, then he pulls me out. I got a big chain around my neck and I'm broken down like a train wreck. Well, it's over. I know it, but I can't let go. Like you turn off a light when I've been left me, it just ain't right. Well, it's over. I know it, but I can't let go. Around every corner, something I see brings her right back how I used to be. Well, it's over. I know it, but I can't let go. He won't take me back when I come around. Says he's sorry, then he pulls me out. I got a big chain around my neck and I'm broken down like a train wreck. Well, it's over.
The great Lucinda Williams with Can't Let Go. She's performing at the Winnipeg Folk Festival on the main stage Thursday night. Chloe Friesen is hosting Up to Speed today. Hello, Chloe.
Hi, Janet. So if you've used Ticketmaster,
yes,
like
I have.
Many of us have, you might have got an email in your inbox on Monday. It wasn't about buying tickets to go see your favorite artist. It revealed that customers' credit card information may have been affected by a security breach. So on Up to Speed, we will speak with a cybersecurity expert about what to do if you did receive this email.
And so many people did, because how do you get tickets without Ticketmaster?
Exactly.
Right? Chloe Friesen, thank you so
No
much.
No problem.
Join Chloe between 3 and 6 p.m. here on CBC Radio 1. Thank you so much. May McKillop, Wendy Parker, Brad Lillies, and everyone else who's worked on this program. Have a fabulous Tuesday, and I'll chat with you tomorrow on Radio Noon.